All right, Integrated Math 3 students, we are going to be doing the last topic for this unit. We have our test coming up in a couple days, so make sure that you are caught up on all your lessons and everything like that so that you can take your test and do well. But today is our last topic. We're talking about population density, so let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, so on KITM, so if you go to KITM, you will find that this worksheet is due Thursday the 4th, so that's tomorrow, based on the day that I'm recording this. But this is pretty much the easiest thing that we've ever learned. I feel confident saying that. Okay, this is a standard for Rutherford County in the geometry section, and it's pretty straightforward. Okay. The first thing that needs to be written down, though, so you can actually do this worksheet in your notes if you want, and I'll explain that later, or you can print it out. It is on KITM for you to do that. But if you want to do all of it in your notes and you'll scan that in to me, you'll be fine. Okay, but this lesson isn't really going to take more than 5 minutes to do. So first thing we're going to do is write down our definition for what is population density, which I forgot to copy and paste in here, so hold on. All right, now we've got it. So population density, and this will be what goes into that definition section there. It is a measurement of population per unit area, okay? And in simple terms, population density refers to the number of people living in an area per square kilometer, all right? So I'll pause and make sure you have time to write that. All right, so you've got that written now. In a shocking fashion, and don't tell other teachers, but I'm actually using Wikipedia as my source for this. This worksheet does not come from Wikipedia, but just to sort of talk about biological population densities, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So this obviously is more of obviously we use it for humans, and we talk about density of populations in the world, but this is also an important value for biology in general, for species. And you could look at a population of any animal and try to get its population density per region. And low density, so this right here talks about the same definition: population divided by total land area, water volume as appropriate. Low densities may cause what's called an extinction vortex. So that's an interesting biological term, and lead to further reduced fertility. Okay, so examples of the causes of reduced fertility in low populations. If there's low populations, there's increased problems with finding mates, and then that also leads to more inbreeding, okay, in animal species. Okay, now this isn't really an issue as far as an extinction vortex for humans, because this is from 2011. There's 7.5 billion people in the world, but to find the population density for human population, so this is what you're going to be doing, is you're calculating the country. If you're going to do this in your notes, all I'll need you to do is write the name of the country and then do this calculation. So you're going to see how easy this will be. So for Albania, if we want to do that, so I'm going to type in here, we're going to make a fraction. Okay, so we're going to take the 3,2,859 people, and we're dividing that by the area in square kilometers. Okay, right there. Okay, so that's going to be equal to, and it says this is going to give us the density. We're rounding to 2 decimal places, so I'm going to go ahead and do that division, and you'll just need a simple calculator to do this. You don't need anything fancy. There we go. And we will round that to 2 decimal places. So this is 104.45. And then the units for this is people per kilometer squared. Okay, now on your paper when you're writing it, you can just put the little square symbol. Okay, but there we go. That's all we have to do for these densities. If this problem, because this problem won't actually be on the test that's coming up, but on EOC you could see a question like this. A lot of times they're having you compare population densities of different countries or different cities even. And then I'm going to also post this link in Play Pause It right now, right here, which is the list of countries by population density. So what is the most densely populated country? Well, technically, this is a territory here, but you'll see in 32 kilometers, 21,000 people per kilometer. Right there. That's very dense. And if you compare that to this 104, that is a humongous difference as far as the density there. But technically, the official city-state, this is a city-state, this isn't a territory, 2 kilometers. So it's a tiny little city-state, Monaco. It's in southern France on the coast. If you've ever heard of Monaco, it's like a casino town. It's very wealthy. People go there. But the density there is 18,960. So that is the most densely populated. So this little table here is pretty interesting. You can check the least densely populated. So if we click this, it'll sort it by least. So these don't technically count as countries here, but obviously Greenland and I don't know, this is Norway, I suppose. Yeah, Norway, a little island up there. These are very low density. So what this means is there are 3 people per 100 kilometers is what that means. Okay, or 8 people per 100 miles squared or square miles. So that's sort of how we would interpret that. And you can see that Greenland, the differences in the size here. So these are very unpopulated regions. Now Mongolia is actually the least densely populated country in the world. So you can, if you hit Control F on here, you can actually type in whatever you want to find. There's Canada right there. You could type in any city or state you want to find or country. So if I go by sheer volume, the largest, so the world, here's the world's population densities. This is this is very recent data. But we can see the US is 34, so it's not super populated dense here. Same thing with Canada, very low density with Canada. Here's China's, which we know China has a humongous population. They have 1.4 billion in there compared to America's 331 million. So it's pretty interesting to look at this and think about the different densities and the different in the country, and then you can compare it to the world, right? It shows the world's total area, which is pretty cool. So this is a pretty interesting topic, even though it's very simple. And I'm really just I didn't need to go this long with this video. It could have been 5 minutes. You have the work required shown, so I'm going to end it there. I don't imagine there will be many questions, but if you have one, reach out to me.